The telescope underwent a traumatic relocation, and its lenses and mirrors became hopelessly rearranged. It was impossible to tell anymore whether the view through the telescope was of the surface of a distant planet or the microscopic reflection of the interior of the viewer's own eye. Nevertheless, this new world was studied and documented thoroughly. First, I observed a spreading blackness on the surface. A shift of focus revealed the cause of the darkening to be a grove of trees growing very quickly. I copied some of the branching shapes into my exercise book. The shapes mostly looked like Y's and T's and V's, but after a long time, I saw all the other letters there too. An alphabet growing on the surface, and on the surface of my exercise book. The surface was subject to a storm of matter. Seeds, skulls, dolls flying through the air. Funnels, salt, stones rolling across the surface. Screws, vegetables, magnetic tape falling away from and towards the telescope's eyepiece. It was all moving too fast to get a grip on. Occasionally, something would snag on a root or a cliff. and then I could get a good look at it. It was a relief to be able to observe something properly when everything else was in such a blur. I observed a form with hundreds of hands. It would flail its arms wildly and in every direction through the perpetual storm of smoke, rattles, snail shells. Only when it happened to get its claw into something would it stop and open its eyes to have a look. Scanning across the surface, I noticed an ambiguous object. At first, I thought it was a natural formation, but zooming out or in slightly, I realized it was in fact a monument. A shift of focus revealed it, after all, to be a natural formation. But then another adjustment to the lenses revealed it, in fact, to be a monument. I observed the object for a long time, zooming, shifting focus, adjusting the lenses in other ways, watching as the two facts superseded each other in turn, over and over again. I noticed a coincidence of forms which looked like a face. Once I'd seen this face, it became very difficult not to see faces wherever I looked on the surface. A vine and 3 stones looked like a frown, a nose, and 2 eyes. A discarded arrowhead became a nose when 2 shadows and a worm crept into formation around it. Everything I focused on or defocused on saw a face. I noticed the city. It looked like it had been there for a long time. Like the city plans had been lost a long time ago. Zooming further in or out, I saw signs of activity. Messages and signals moving through the air, moving in and out of buildings, inhabitants sending messages and inhabitants receiving messages, sending messages out into the wilderness or into incinerators, receiving things that look like messages but aren't, processing them and sending out other messages based on the results. Parts of the city working independently long after the plans have been lost. Eyelashes, blood, documents, matchboxes, I noticed a crystallizing system that had developed a complexity like a factory or an animal. its interior was a pool of crystal solution, and crystal solution moved in thin channels through the solid crystal structure, being drawn from the pool and returning to the pool. The movement of the liquid caused a process of dissolving and crystallizing, and the structure constantly changed shape and even travelled across the surface slowly. It had a mouth, a crystal cave mouth, into which would fly the occasional eggs, sticks, pine cones. These would dissolve in the pool into the circulating blood of the object and become features of its form or its movement. Different kinds of feature, depending on what the things originally were. I saw a village whose inhabitants were constantly dying. They'd opened up holes in the surface and were crowding around them, extracting a substance from underneath. Very often, one of them would die from exposure to the substance. And whenever this happened, living ones would bury the dead one in a hole in the surface, a different kind of hole. I watched for a long time, everyone eventually dying after a certain length of exposure to the substance. New ones always moving in to replace them, moving in from beyond the view of the telescope. Zooming out a long way, I saw other villages with holes and crowds. I observed an animal with 2 arms. It looked like it was feeling around on the surface for something. Often it would come across an object in the perpetual tide of batteries, bags, cotton buds advancing across the surface. But after feeling it for a while, it would always let go again, as if thinking, no, not that. I watched it for a long time, always feeling around for something, coming across something, feeling it for a while, letting it go again as if thinking, no, not that. Feeling around for it, coming across it, feeling it for a while, letting it go, no, not that. Feeling around for it, coming across it, feeling something for a while, letting something go, no, that's not it. Feeling around for it, coming across it, feeling something for a while, letting something go, no, that wasn't it. I saw a form which kept joining itself up together in different ways. The changes were so quick that it was impossible to tell what it actually was. A body, a city, a whole, a blur, a point, an expanse, something on fire, a signal, a crystal, fumes, body parts, buildings. Finally, I observed it and it observed me back again. I looked for the pipes and they were there. I looked for the light bulbs and they were there. The view was infinitesimal and instantaneous. The surface contained in it every potential surface and every potential combination of mousetraps, sweets, lenses, all equally immediate in time and space, with no discernible edges or moments between them. One non-granular substance. And as I try to zoom in or out, I realize realized my finger was holding the controls of the telescope and also holding my pencil, writing in my exercise book. And everything I wrote caused the same marks to appear on the surface of the planet. And then I watched as it all broke up and fell down a pit. The whole thing had been built over a bottomless pit. I watched as it fell away from or towards me, down the pit or down the telescope, towards its vanishing point, like a perfect, endless zoom out or in or out or in or out. Pipes, receipts, wheels, puppets, bells, flutes, threads, magnets, maps, glow sticks, cables, books, pearls, rags, coins, guns, socks, saucers, pencils, hammers, matchboxes. This concludes the observations made through the telescope at that time. Much later, it was used by moths as a home, and now, full of dried wings, the telescope can focus on nothing.